And Triple Crown Ford brings us the post-game interview, and we get to talk to a person that we're familiar with. Cody Vannoy, what's up, man? Our sideline reporter from football at the end of the year. You're a pretty good sideline reporter, but I would dare say you're a better catcher and a hitter.
Oh, I appreciate that. I mean, that's in the future, but right now in the present, I'm proud I'm able to wear the purple and be behind the dish.
Yeah, man, it was fun to watch you. It started off the game, and you did a great job early in the contest of cutting down some runners as they tried to advance. That's been a problem for this team throughout the season, giving those free bases away. You cut down 2 runners early in the game. Can you just talk about your approach behind the plate?
Yeah, I think we talked about it before the game. I believe that, this week we really worked on that, and we saw that was a struggle, and so we really made sure the pitchers were kind of getting the ball quicker, because it's not just mine. The pitchers got to do it, and Hack does a really good job, and we call him Hack, but Hackett. And so he did a really good job, and then obviously that's my former team, and I know they like to run a lot, and they got some good guys. So
that was my next question. How did it feel to have the biggest hit of this game against your former team? You started off at UTRGV. You're here now. We're glad you're here. For a lot of different reasons, not just because of baseball, but the sideline stuff too. But how did that feel? I know you probably didn't get all of it, but you got enough of it, and that's what matters.
Yeah, I think I'm just super blessed. I mean, and I'm super grateful that I went to UTRGV. And all those coaches that are still there, or all the staff that I was there when I left my last semester, and they taught me a lot. And obviously, it's huge, and the fact that I was able to do it against them. I mean, just trying to stay in the moment and be in the presence of mind and not trying to get too big. I mean, I went 0 for 2 the first with the strikeouts, and the fact that I'm obviously older and wasn't 18 when I was there and 22 now, and just kind of staying in the present of mind and being able to, 0 for 3 on that situation, just not trying to do too much and find a barrel and when it was going out, which I'm appreciative of that too.
Hey, you know what? You lose some when it's blowing in, and you get some when it's blowing out. It pretty much at at the Tarleton Baseball Complex, it evens out, and you get the home run. You think you'll smile bigger than that in 2022, and then that smile when you came across the plate?
I don't know. It was funny because my teammates were asked. I definitely thought. I thought I would have gone out if I didn't have the win. I hit it that well, and Paul Durama, I played against. I was there at the same time with him too. He's a year older than me, and so I've seen him before, and he's got some good stuff. Really good slider, and on that 2-0, I just shifted my mind to left center, and I was hoping he would give me one, and I knew I didn't have to swing too hard because he's got a lot of velo on him, and luckily I was able to get it, but I didn't want to sit there and hold it. I kind of did the Aaron Judge where I'm just going to act like I've been there before.
Sure.
But when I touched second, I definitely screamed like a little girl out there. I was pretty excited.
Well, man, it's fun to watch you behind the plate and at the plate today. Congratulations on the win, and enjoy a couple of days off.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's Cody Vannoy, the young man that hit the grand slam and gave the Texans, really busted it open for Tarleton State, as now we move over and we ask Cody to shift over, and we'll talk to a gentleman who's got 4 games in a row under his belt now. As you've been telling me, and I'm going to be honest with you, after an 8-game losing streak, you kept saying, hey, we're close. I feel like it's coming together, right? You get the win over Corpus Christi, who I think just took a 3-game set with Nebraska this weekend. They won 21-4. The final game today, so that win looks a lot better. Yeah, they got 3 touchdowns and 2 safeties against the Cornhuskers. But no, that game looks like a bigger win. You know what I mean? And then you get 3 against a really good UTRGV team that's, they're picked to finish second in the Southwest. How are you feeling after the sweep? Obviously good, but how do you feel, and just how do you feel about this team?
I mean, I've known all along this team we had a chance to be good, and obviously we still got a long ways to go. But I think now them being able to kind of see it happen, and I think obviously the Corpus win was big because we have a lead, then we give it up there, but being able to come through right there offensively and win it was big, and I think that gives them the confidence in those spots. Like, man, it doesn't matter what you throw at us, we got a chance to win. And people kind of tend to forget that. I know obviously we had that 8-game losing streak on the road. And we should have won a few of those, but we haven't played a game against a team that's under 500.
Yeah.
And we got a top 20 schedule in the country, and for me it's bigger to make it tougher early and us figure out what it looks like. And, obviously we want to win some of those games that we didn't, but I think that's what helps you as you get into conference play and you get rolling is not the feel-good wins and stuff like that, because you can cover up a lot of mistakes in some of those games.
Bryce Hackett, he got 5 innings pitched. I think, at least by the numbers, this seems like his best appearance of the season. You talk about what he did today?
Yeah, I mean, really, what we talked about before the game, honestly, is just Bryce is the one thing with him is he's got a really good routine. He's mature, and a guy I'd like for us to be able to give the ball to him on a Sunday. Even with the wind blowing out like it was, you're going to get a guy that's going to go compete for you, and he did a really good job of that, making pitches when he need to and just competing. Cody
Vannoy, we just finished visiting with him. He had 2 injuries to catchers. Cruz is out with an injury, and then Jaime goes and he can't play today because of an injury, and it's got to be a luxury to have a guy like Vannoy that can step in. And, the home run's a big deal, right? The grand slam, obviously, that blows the game wide open. But I think, at least to me, watching, it's just as big what he did early in the game, cutting some of those runners down, keeping the ball in front of him, and just helping out his pitcher.
Yeah, for Cody, it's awesome. Obviously this year he hadn't been on the field as much as I know he wants to, but, always staying ready. He has worked so hard in the bullpen with our guys and in the cages, and I think that's where when you stick with it, and just kind of waiting for the opportunity to come, you're able to make the most of it. And that's something he's done a really, really, really good job of from an emotional standpoint, and just waiting his turn. And it's really cool to see him be able to go do that against a program that, he was at UTRGV out of high school to start. Yeah. So it was neat being able to give him the game ball there after that one.
Well, it's fun to root for him. I know he's a great guy in the dugout and in the locker room as well. Sometimes it's hard for those guys to keep that positive attitude when different players come in. He's certainly done that. And then the other guy I wanted to talk about a little bit was Trace Morrison, the freshman. What a luxury it is to have a freshman who bats at the bottom of the order. And I don't know if it's just his makeup or if part of it's the experience. Stephenville here locally had a really long run in the playoffs last year. So he's been in some big situations. They go to the state semifinals. It seems like to me some of that you can kind of just see for a freshman. Seems to have a lot of composure.
Yeah, I think kind of just a low pulse. He's the same guy every day. We talked about it in the fall. I think when the fall first started, he was like 0 for 11 or something at one point, and you never would know it watching him the way he shows up, and then tore the cover off the ball the back half of the fall. I mean, it was really good. And it's been the same thing here where, he kind of had a little struggles early on. Balls weren't falling for him. And then there was about a week there where he didn't get on the field and just ready to go. It's the same guy every day. And for a freshman, he's as mature as they come. Really, our whole freshman class is.
Visiting with the head coach of your Tarleton Texans, Aaron Meade. They're in the middle of a 4-game winning streak. So you get a week off, and I think you need it. You got some injuries that have built up over the last couple of days. How will you use not quite a week, but 5 days in between games before you play ACU and WAC play on the road next week?
We'll have tomorrow to get our feet back under us, and they'll have that day off and get to class and do all that, and then we're going to be right back at it. We got to keep getting better. We're a long ways away, I think, from where we have a chance to be at the end of the year. And going to ACU, obviously, it's a good team. I think they were picked to win the conference or our division, and it's going to be tough playing on the road at their place, and we got to be ready to go. Can't just assume or hope it's going to happen. We got to be ready to go and go get the first one.
Coach, great win today. Congrats on the first ever Western Athletic Conference sweep in Tarleton baseball history.
Thanks, Byron. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. And congrats again on the win. And thanks once again to Triple Crown Ford. They bring us the post-game interview. That's good.